I absolutely love this comment. I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for discussions and debate. But let's break it down to why the quote-unquote smartest human being in all of creation and history ended up creating the Primarchs just for them to turn against him. For me, this is a debate that is never ending. And quite frankly, I see both sides. I neither hate the fact that he created the Primarchs. I'm personally on the side that I understand and I love the Primarchs, but again, let's break it down even further. The Emperor, for all of his divine power, his foresight, absolutely everything, he wasn't a god. He was just a man, a nearly all-powerful, all-knowing man, but at the end of the day, he was just a man, and he admitted to it time and time again. Sure, he abused his powers to manipulate situations, the future, and/or a handful of different scenarios, but at the end of the day, he couldn't do everything everywhere all at once. He was in fact able to do a lot, and we get to see that every single time we talk about his history as well as things that he's done in the now. But even the oldest perpetual ever, Alanius Person, talking about the Emperor of Mankind, even referenced at one point he wasn't as always as powerful as we know him now. And that was during the Horus Heresy, so we can only imagine now. So he wasn't always as all-powerful, nor was he always as all-knowing. And I would even argue that he still isn't that today. But going back to another brief point that I just made, the fact that he can't be everywhere all at once. And with the galaxy as vast as it is, ever expanding, and all the enemies and people that needed to be governed, he needed generals. He needed these nigh incorruptible beings and creatures that could govern multiple sectors of the galaxy. He needed people with divine gifts similarly to himself so that he may once again rule over the galaxy and have them scatter amongst the stars. And for that reason, he created the Primarchs that were supposed to have the intelligence and capability to govern the stars, all of its people, as well as be amongst them. And you heard me right, I did say be amongst them. But as we know it, the Chaos Gods as well as other people had different plans and they would be scattered amongst the stars. For much of their early upbringing, he wasn't a part of their lives. Albeit, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he wasn't a good father. He was a horrible father. Sure, some of his sons understood their purpose almost instantaneously and understood that they were supposed to be weapons and tools to be used at his disposal. But others desired more, craved more, or they even desired a different kind of parenting. And then you have examples like Angron where he just straight up abandoned, yoinked, and forced into their own submission. For whatever reasons, in any of his meetings with his sons, he quote-unquote had his purposes. Some of his sons falling in the way that they did, I personally blame them. For others, I understand. Nonetheless, I don't think he was a good father. And were some of his sons immature tools? Yes, I would say so. But imagine, if you will, for a moment, imagine landing on a planet as an infant child and already in your adolescence knowing more than those superiors around you, growing larger, stronger, smarter than all those around you who once thought you're better, and then just letting the genetic makeup kick in so that you would then eventually rule over the said planet, if you were given the opportunity to. The Primarchs were never intended to be scattered, or at least I don't believe that's what the intent was. I do believe the Emperor was going to have them become perfect little soldiers, and that is exactly why Erda had them scattered amongst the stars. But then on the counterpoint, again, to your point, they did develop, or at least some of them did, very immaturely. For all their wisdom, they were still grown man-children. But at the bottom line, the one thing that I can say between the faults of all of the Primarchs, including the Emperor, is that pride is the folly of man. And to me, that is a reoccurring topic that seems to rear its head amongst many of the novels. At the end of the day, the Emperor is nearly all-powerful, but he is not all-powerful. Above his powers, he is still very prideful, a little bit arrogant, but most of all, still a man. And any man, as we can see, no matter how powerful you are, has faults. That's not an excuse for treating some of your children like dog water, but it did lead to the very fact of a beautiful story being crafted that many of the fandom have come to love. Again, I totally respect your opinion, and this isn't me like saying you're wrong or anything like that. I just thought it would be fun to talk about. With that being said, thank you all again for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Drop a comment if there's anything you guys want to hear about next, and as always, remember to follow for more.